welcome again to the big match. Today we bring you action from 3 of yesterday's First Division games, and our main match comes from Highbury, where Arsenal faced Manchester United. After that we shall have Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers and Birmingham City against Chelsea. And as well as the top action, the top names. Here in the studio, the former England and Manchester City winger Dennis Tueart, who on Tuesday plays for the New York Cosmos at Chelsea. All right, let's start at Highbury with Arsenal against Manchester United.
Highbury and a sunshine day, though a note in the programme from the Arsenal club points strongly at the few who spoil the day for the many. Here's what Arsenal say. We're increasingly concerned at Highbury by the incessant obscene chanting from a little band of hooligans who are a disgrace to the good name of Arsenal. We say to them, no one thinks you're clever, certainly not our players, who have nothing but contempt for you, and yours is the sort of support we can do without. We shall take action, we assure you, but it will be easier for all concerned, especially the huge majority of our decent-minded supporters who are subjected to your chanting, if you found somewhere else to go on Saturday afternoons. We would rather play to an empty stadium than fill Highbury with people like you. Well, strong words indeed. And Highbury is well filled today to see this Arsenal side, strengthened by the returning defence of David O'Leary after injury, a side that had 7 members in various international squads in midweek, 5 of them playing in the Republic of Ireland versus Northern Ireland International in Dublin. David O'Leary missed that game. He's had a niggling groin injury that's caused him to miss 2 matches. The Arsenal defence is the better for his return. As for Manchester United, 7 of their team were with international squads on Wednesday night, but it's a side that has made a shaky start to the season. They've drawn their last 3 games, but like Arsenal, their defence is strengthened today by the return of Stuart Houston, his first league game of the season after having damaged knee ligaments in a pre-season friendly in Denmark. Referee today, that's Alf Gray of Great Yarmouth. He's a FIFA referee, and now let's hope the football matches the weather and indeed that the crowd enjoys it. And what a trio there in the stand. On the left, in the sunglasses, Bertie Mee, former Arsenal manager, now at Watford, of course. In the centre, former Arsenal skipper Frank McLintock. And on the right, Bob McNabb. And also enjoying the sunshine, and we hope the football in the centre there, Miss Great Britain. So Manchester United kick off on a ground where, of late, they really have an appalling record. They've not won at Highbury since 1967-68. 10 games. They've drawn 1 and lost 9. And in that time conceded 30 goals. Well, Dave Sexton said before the game, we've got to go out and set our stall for scoring 4 goals in this game to give ourselves a chance, it would seem. Manchester United in white shirts, black shorts, Arsenal in their familiar red shirts with white sleeves. Here's Stuart Houston. And certainly Dave Sexton, who indeed had a coaching job here at Highbury way back, he's under a little bit of pressure at the moment. Steve Walford to Nelson. Ricks. A chip into Rice, who'd come round there, and how well Jimmy Greenough had spotted him. Ricks getting up again, and a foul on Ricks by Brian Greenough. Well, Brady, who can be devastating from a free kick, although it's a fair way out. Ricks also behind it. And Brady wanting the 2-man, the Greenough brothers, in fact, in that wall, wanting it back 10 yards. Rice hitting it straight at Roach. Brady's free kick. The ball coming out to Rice. And Rice's shot going straight to Paddy Roach. And a quick kick forward, a 1-against-1. Jimmy Greenough against Sammy Nelson. And Greenough getting in behind that Arsenal defender, but it's an Arsenal throw. And kind of fallen a little less deep, it might have been a very interesting situation there, the 1-against-1, and Roach did well to spot it back quickly. Nice little break here by Koppel. And beyond the post, he got beyond Willie Young all right. And suddenly there was a gap appearing in that Arsenal defence, and Koppel was prepared to take full advantage of it. Sunderland, and a handball given. Deflected there off the hand of Gordon McQueen. three in the wall. Koppel, McIlroy and Macari. Roach behind them. And the problems to come from Ricks or Brady. So, you can see the angle there from our camera behind the goal. And I imagine it'll be a blast from Liam Brady, who's had a certain success with his free kicks. No, it's Ricks, in fact. Maybe Manchester United, like me, were looking for a blast from Brady, but it was the little curler from Graham Ricks. But it was going wide of that post. Greenoff, Jordan. Rice getting in there. Jordan shrugged him off well there. Macari spreading it for McIlroy. Past Brady. Accelerating past Price. Goal kick. Ricks, a beautiful ball. Play through for Price. Straight at Roach. All credit to Graham Ricks for the vision in playing that ball there, but equally the running and the vision of David Price to have been there to receive it. But the shot was straight at the Man United keeper. So it's a free kick for Manchester United, which Greenoff will take. Now Alveston. So Arthur Alveston with the throw for Manchester United. Jimmy Greenoff. Alveston. It's a good-looking cross there towards Joe Jordan, and McIlroy ran in there, and Joe Jordan tried to make something of it. Willie Young repairing that damage. Well, it's amazing, when that long cross came in, suddenly McIlroy seemed to be absolutely in the clear. But the chance wasn't taken, and it came too late, really, for Willie Young to do anything about it, or rather for Joe Jordan to do anything about it either. Willie Young stopping him. So here's the corner, and O'Leary's header away. Ricks. Brady. Great run through the middle by Stapleton. Sunderland. Rice to Brady. Ricks. Sunderland. Good running again by Rice. Can he get past his Northern Ireland teammate Sammy McIlroy? Oh, McIlroy with a back heel between the legs of Rice, finding Houston, and here's Jordan. McIlroy. Houston. McQueen. Buchan. And right across the back four to Arthur Alveston. Willie Young following Jordan just about everywhere he goes. A nice touch there by Ricks for Price, always ready to come forward from the midfield. That's really where the two sides are differing at the moment. Ricks, Arsenal midfield men and the back men looking for every chance to get forward. Stapleton trying to get round his man. There's Ricks. Almost got the shot in, foiled by Macari in the first place and then by Koppel. Ricks again. Brady. Stapleton down for Ricks. He couldn't control it. Here's Brian Greenoff to Steve Koppel. Jordan. Koppel. Greenoff. Again, you'll notice how quick the number 6 Willie Young was to close in on the number 9 Joe Jordan. Augustin. Oh, look at the space here for Brian Greenough. And Cottrell has put it in. And Manchester United are in the lead. And so the travelling fans from Manchester show their delight. And it was Brian Greenough who got in on the left-hand side of the Arsenal defence, where there have been 1 or 2 gaps this afternoon, made the most of it. In fact, it wasn't a particularly good cross. It looked as though it should have gone to his brother Jimmy. In fact, it came to Steve Coppell, and as he was falling over, he managed to toe poke it past an off-balanced Pat Jennings. So Coppell has put Manchester United in the lead with 25 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1. And here's O'Leary. Well, it's an amazing thing that on their last 7 visits here, Manchester United against Arsenal, Arsenal have never failed to score fewer than 3 goals and to win comfortably. But here we have Manchester United in the lead, and an old boy coming back to Highbury, Dave Sexton, not too displeased about that. Macari, McElroy, Houston, Jordan, with Willie Young right behind him again. Oh, what lovely control by Lou Macari, brilliant. Houston. And Brady right back. They really want to keep Brady, I suppose, midfield and coming forward. Linesman flagging. Certainly, I suppose Brady can expect a little more freedom in the middle of the field now that David McCreary is not playing. I gather he did a very strong marking job on him in Dublin midweek, but McCreary now with a bit of a knock on the knee. Nelson, and a good save again by Roach, and Buchan completing the clearance. Again, an example of Arsenal getting defenders forwards. Good shot by Nelson, good save by Roach. And a corner for Arsenal. So Willie Young up again. O'Leary at the near post. This is aimed towards Sammy Nelson and Willie Young. It is Willie Young with the header. And it's Price who turns it in. 1-1. Goal of the season for him, and the equaliser for Arsenal. The corner came floating in. Willie Young was there, touched him, and it came for an angle that looked to be too sharp, except that Price walloped it into the roof of the net. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. The scorer, David Price, and 32 minutes gone. So now the joy is at the other side of the field. The Arsenal fans and the United fans are a little bit more subdued. Houston's header. And Houston's boot. Yes, a foul by Price on Macari. Quite properly given by referee Alf Gray. And a throw to Manchester, or rather a free kick to Manchester United. Really big sunburned crowd here today. As Houston now takes this free kick for Manchester United. Jordan got the header in there, and Jimmy Greenough. What a tremendous piece of goalkeeping game by Pat Jennings. I think he might have caught it in the face. And they're calling the trainer Fred Street on very quickly. It looked as though Jimmy Greenough was really in there with a chance, but from 1 yard range, Pat Jennings flung himself at that situation, pulled off a save, injured himself in the process. Long free kick. Corner rather. And the Arsenal fans there in the crowd, two famous ones there, chewing away, McLintock and McNabb with Bertie Mee alongside them. Walford. Price, who's also had a very good first half for Arsenal, and here he is again. Pat Rice. Here's Ricks on the far side. Getting beyond to Sunderland. Oh, tipped away by Roach. Again, the making of Graham Ricks. Tricking Arthur Albiston. The cross coming in, Sunderland's header, and a nice piece of keeping by Paddy Roach. So right on half-time, it's a corner for Arsenal. Ricks again with it. And that very nearly fell for Steve Walford at the far side. But it's a goal kick. Coppell hoping it on towards Jordan, and again Young is right with him, but it's time he's found Jimmy Greenoff. The ball was played back there. Jordan hadn't picked himself up. Brady. O'Leary, Sunderland, and Price. Brady again. Last seconds now of this first half. Will he let fly here? Trying to get a 1-2 going with Walford. Sunderland's right in there. O'Leary trying to plant it wide again for Price. Cut out here by McElroy. The referee looking at his watch. And there's the half-time whistle, 1-1. With Arsenal coming back well into it. Their best player, I think, in that first 45 minutes, Graham Ricks, who's played some delightful left-footed balls up to men up front and has got into dangerous positions himself. It was Steve Coppell who put Manchester United ahead with 25 minutes gone, and 7 minutes later it was David Price who got the equaliser for Arsenal. And so we have a half-time score here at Highbury, which is Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Highbury. The start of the second half. Arsenal now will be attacking the goal to our left. 1-1 the score. Steve Coppell for Manchester United. David Price the equaliser for Arsenal. Stapleton winning that in the air quite well, and so too did Gordon McQueen for Manchester United. Macari, a well-struck ball there, but it's too far ahead of Jimmy Greenoff. Nelson. McQueen. Misunderstanding there between McQueen and Buchan. Now, can Stapleton take advantage of it? Ricks, on his first half form, he might be able to. Brady. Goal kick. Jimmy Greenoff. And Rice playing it back for Jordan. Oh, and his chance had gone. It was never an easy one, but it was a chance that was opened up for Manchester United with a strange back pass there by Pat Rice. Jordan was on it, but in taking it past Pat Jennings, the pace of the ball was too much for him. Price now. Brady. Ricks again. There's that lazy left foot almost. It was Martin Buchan who got it away. And Jordan with a chance to get it further away. Kari. Houston. Jimmy Greenoff. Played nicely for Joe Jordan. United coming forward in some strength now. McIlroy right in there. Over the top. And the chance was certainly there for Manchester United. Coming forward with a certain amount of venom there, with Greenoff and Jordan all in there, and the ball coming through to McIlroy. Perhaps didn't quite make as much of it as he should have done. And a goal kick. Billy Young. O'Leary. And Price now. Stapleton. Oh, nice bit of play. Look where O'Leary is as well. And will it come for Brady? Not the way he wanted, or maybe it will now. Save though. Now, did that cross the line? No, the linesman is flagging on the far side. Did not cross the line, he said. And so the game goes on. And Brady's header did not cross the line. What a mix-up, though. McQueen with that header there. And here's Ricks again. And here's Brady. It'll fall for Steve Walford. Now for Ricks. That's given Arsenal a bit of heart. Free kick. Well, Paddy Roach will know probably better than anyone whether that ball had crossed the line or not. Remember him punching a George Armstrong corner into his own net in that very goal, in fact, a few years ago. He'll not thank me for reminding him, but that really was touch and go a moment ago. And now it could be touch and go again as Ricks curls that free kick in right across that goal for the want of the slightest touch from Willie Young at the far post, which it didn't quite get. United in all sorts of trouble there as that free kick came floating in and allowed to go beyond the far post. Mark Healy, the substitute for Arsenal. Well, that looked like Willie Young climbing all over Joe Jordan to me. Ricks. Stable and playing it back for Ricks again. Cut out by Koppel. Steve Walford is going off. Well, he's battled away and he's getting some applause from Don Howe as he comes off. And Healy is on. Touch for Nelson. Brian Greenoff instead. Played for Joe Jordan. Oh, and he's given that to Stapleton. Swept wide for Mark Healy on the far side. Rice. Healy. Little cross coming in. McQueen and Macari both going for it, getting in each other's way. McQueen getting that one away. Rice getting in there. Arsenal having won 3 of their 4 games at home. The other one was drawn, so they're unbeaten here at Highbury. But I think they were really looking for 2 points here today. Now, Healy. Ricks. Now, Nelson. Oh, my word, he nearly caught Roach out. And certainly Roach would have appeared to have had plenty time to see that one coming. It was only a frantic dive right at the last that held it and prevented Sammy Nelson putting Arsenal into the lead. And Brian Greenough finding his brother Jimmy. Joe Jordan's up, McCarr is up, and Albiston is up. Here's Jordan now for Manchester United. Arsenal have brought 5 men back into their penalty area, plus O'Leary, plus Pat Jennings. Coppell. Oh, a little back heel there. Coppell with the shot, and Jennings with the save. And so swiftly Manchester United broke out and very nearly snatched a win that few would have expected them to have got. Good save by Jennings. Houston now. Coppell. 3 minutes to go. Houston with a little cross in there. Ricks getting it away. And Nelson belting the ball for touch. And in fact, it's Buchan who turns it over. It must be a throw then for Arsenal. Tommy Kavanagh getting a bit agitated there. Number 15 on his shirt, you may have noticed. Now Willie Young trying to get something going up forward. Taking part in it himself, but that'll come through to Paddy Roach. Inter-injury time at the end of the game. Looks very much like a 1-1 draw. Alf Gray looking hard at that watch again. Willie Young caught off balance, but it won't matter. The whistle has gone. The game is over, and it's a point apiece. With Steve Coppell having put Manchester United ahead after 25 minutes of the first half, and the equaliser coming from David Price here in the 32nd minute for Arsenal. The big talking point, of course, being whether or not that header from Liam Brady did or did not cross the line before it was pushed out to safety by Paddy Roach. The referee said, and the linesman said, that it didn't, and that's really what is mattered. So a final score then at Highbury, and it is Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
And indeed, those were the highlights of a match that really was disappointing, particularly in the second half. Indeed, the only real talking point in that second half was whether or not the header by Liam Brady actually crossed the line. Referee Alf Gray had no doubts because his linesman was so well positioned down by the corner flag. And Manchester United's Brian Greenough told me that he was well placed as well, and that the part of the ball might have been on the line, but there was no question of it all being over the line. All right, let's have a look at that particular incident then as Arsenal build up this attack down the right. And it comes now through to David O'Leary. A cross that clears the Manchester United defenders, and Brady's first effort is not at all what he wants, but Liam gets another chance. And watch Paddy Roach backing away onto his line and beyond his line. You've got to say from this angle, of course, it's impossible to say whether the ball was over the line. But the number 4, Brian Greenough, was there, says he was absolutely sure, though he isn't, of course, in line either. Frank Sableton thought it was a goal. Really impossible to say from that angle. And indeed, the only interesting thing is you look at it from behind the goal and Brady gets his header in again, is to watch the referee this time. And you can see what good teamwork it was between him and the linesman. Alf Gray looking straight away now. He can sense there's a bit of a doubt about this one. Looks to the linesman. Did it? No, it didn't, he said. And the game carried on. And you've got to give the referee the benefit of the doubt there, obviously. But there was another moment of controversy in the first half when thousands of Arsenal fans near the incident claimed that Manchester United defender Stuart Houston had handled the ball in the penalty area. Right, here we go again. Brady with this delightful left foot of his. And again, it doesn't really show up clearly enough. Stuart Houston going for the ball, challenging it there, but I think it was a genuine challenge for the ball. And if there was a handball, it was purely accidental. You can play it, in fact, I think you could play it all day and still not really come to a firm conclusion, other than, again, to give the benefit of the doubt to the referee and his decision. One last thing before we move on. I mentioned at the start of the programme the warning in the Arsenal programme about bad language from the crowd. And I must report that yesterday the Arsenal crowd were magnificent, even to the point of chanting, "We're not swearing anymore." Well, let's hope they keep it up, and indeed that others follow them. And I must just say that the big match seems to be a bit of a jinx on home teams this season. Not one home team has won on our main match so far, with 6 already gone, and this is the grisly record. Arsenal with a 2-2 on the opening day, Spurs with a 2-2 against Chelsea the following week, West Ham losing at home, Watford losing at home, Chelsea losing at home, and then, as you saw, a 1-1 between Arsenal and Manchester United yesterday. Who, I wonder, are we going to put the jinx on next week? Well, you can find out by watching us next Sunday afternoon. Our second match today, though, takes us to Goodison Park, where Everton paraded their new £300,000 signing from Derby County, Colin Todd, in their defence at right back against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The pictures come from Granada Television. Commentators Gerald Sinstadt, Colin Todd and his Everton teammates, they are in the dark shirts.
Right. Now Todd. Useful foot stuck out there by McCall. Here's Parkin, and McCall lets it go. Latchford, 1-0. Well, John McCall, with the experience of more than 350 league games, committed an elementary error. Stepped over the ball, assuming it was Bradshaw's, quite unaware that Latchford was there, and from there on, it was an easy task for the Everton centre-forward to get his first league goal of the season. Lyons. Foul by Bell. Pejic, who was fouled, willing to take the free kick. On the quarter hour, 1-0 to Everton. And that was a foul, penalty. For John McCall has done it again. McCall bringing down Mickey Walsh with a shoulder charge off the ball, and a penalty for Andy King. As Andy King scores his 6th goal of the season. And what a beautifully struck penalty it was. Bradshaw made up his mind, and he made it up wrong. All stripping off their sub, Mel Eves. And the cross towards Bell. Got in there before Lyons. Couldn't direct the ball. Norman Bell on the end of the header, but side netted. Latchford. Pejic on the touchline. Side to Thomas. Tripped by McCall. Walsh, King and Latchford poised at the back of the penalty area. Thomas to take the kick. Into the near post for Walsh, and King couldn't turn it in. Very well worked move. Thomas's free kick. Walsh's back header, and King coming in at the far post, couldn't turn it in.
Well, that's a win that puts Everton, as you can see, in second place, 1 point behind Liverpool, who were held 1-1 at West Bromwich Albion yesterday. Liverpool 13 points, Everton 12, Merseyside dominating the early weeks, and a defeat that leaves Wolves right at the bottom, as you can also see, with only 2 points, and manager Sammy Chung with more problems than most. But it's time for your letters, and the first one refers back to criticism of referees. Not that we always criticise them, often indeed we praise them. And in fact, it seems that we're not the only one, though, who believe that sometimes their priorities are suspect, as Roger Peerless of 82 Albury Road, Mercham in Surrey, pointed out in this drawing. The referee there, he says, is saying, what's it for? Dissent, of course, that red card, ignoring the fact that behind him, well, just look, mayhem is going on. And that, let me point out, is the view of just an average football fan, that maybe that referees' priorities aren't always exactly right. Julian Webber of 8 Kinross Close, Kenton in Middlesex, is a Brentford fan who wonders if we can show some recent action of Brentford winning. Sadly, we can't. Towards the end of last season, though, we saw the Bees losing at Swansea, and the only time they've been on television this season was at Peterborough last Saturday, where a strong-looking Peterborough side won 3-1. Brentford are in the white shorts.
Butland will chase this, but Cruz cuts out. It's straight to Anderson. Crossing it to Robson. It's a lovely ball. Robson against Tucker. Robson's cross, and there's Butland. Ross over the top, and McKeown can go for this. He's not offside. McKeown's got a lot of room. Can he beat Porter? And here goes Tommy Robson. McKeown raises his arms in delight. I don't think that Tommy Robson will claim that one. Again, Cruz and Smith come up with Phillips on the near post. David Carlton right at the back. In comes Cruz, gets it. Oh, it's a fine header. McKeown going to the near post, up he goes, and it's Cruz with a nice bit of judgment. And Robson again. Can he make this cross count? And here comes Doyle. Oh! That was a marvellous goal.
Proof indeed that you can see quality finishing in the third division. And indeed, staying in the third division for a moment, Carlisle United have asked us to mention that their match against Swansea this week has been brought forward to tomorrow night, not the usual Tuesday night game. Tomorrow night then at Carlisle, 7:30, a part of the big match service. And now it's time to welcome a special guest to the big match studio, Dennis Tueart, formerly of Manchester City in England, now with a new life in front of him as a star player with the New York Cosmos, here to play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday night. And the night, I suppose, that Dennis made the really big breakthrough in America came when he scored twice in the North American final against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Here's Dennis's first goal coming up. Whacked in there straight away on the volley. You would have enjoyed that one. So that's 1-0 to the Cosmos. Steve Hunt, now with Coventry City, laying on that long ball for him, taken superbly on the volley by Dennis. The second goal coming up now. Kinalia with the header. The Tampa Bay Rowdy defender getting a hand to it, but couldn't stop it going into the back of the net. So that's 2-0 then for the Cosmos. Kinalia's header. And in fact, Tampa Bay Rowdies got into the game quite early into the second half to bring it back to 2-1 with a goal by their Brazilian, Mirandini. Taking it here, and a really good rifling shot in off that New York Cosmos post. But the last word on the night belonged to Dennis Tueart. Again, a beautifully taken goal, a well-timed run just onside when that ball was played, neatly round the keeper and into the roof of the net. Dennis Tueart in action in the North American final, but now with us here in the studio. That must have been some night there.
Yeah, the beautiful day. We had 75,000 people. It was a really beautiful occasion.
Yes. In fact, there's been a lot of trumpeting about New York Cosmos. In fact, somebody even said to me, we're the best-known club in the world now. But having come to Germany on your European tour and been hammered left, right and centre, it's gone a little bit sour.
Yeah, very much so, because we had a very, very hectic season, and the schedule that was put forward for us has been very, very tiring. The guys have been more or less flying in one day, playing and flying out the next day to the next venue. The guys are very tired after the season, but we've come to Chelsea now. We've come 2 days earlier than was originally intended, to try and just relax the guys and get us ready for the game against Chelsea.
Must be a game that you're particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, I must admit, I've been going around for the last 2 weeks getting all the tickets, making sure I've got all the reservations for the tickets. Quite a few people are coming down, so it's very important to me.
There's news that Johan Cruyff is playing. Beckenbauer also, presumably, is playing, is he?
Yeah, all the guys. We've got a full side. Full side will be coming to the game on Tuesday.
Yes, with a lot of razzmatazz before it, from all accounts.
Well, I don't know, because it's important to us, because we've got to go out and prove to a lot of people that the standard in America isn't. It's obviously not the top quality European standard at the moment, but it's increasing every year.
Yes.
It's important.
Where would you put it
Tuesday.
now, the state of the game in America?
I think, you know, people have asked me, I've had a lot of English guys come over to watch the games and ask me how I would assess, and I reckon we could hold it on in the bottom third of the first division.
Really?
I'm not saying we can go out and blow them all over, because we've got 3 or 4 guys who could play in the first division, first teams, and the rest are good Americans, good Canadians, but these are all gaining experience by all the games we're playing. It's important to their development, really.
Yes. In terms of the game out there, what is it that you miss most?
Grass.
Grass.
Grass. I'm afraid we have a good AstroTurf surface in the Giant Stadium and where we're playing in America, but
Isn't that the perfect surface to play on, though?
it's not really, because you get a good grass surface. It settles, the ball just sits there beautifully for you, especially with control. On the AstroTurf, you have the solid surface and it rolls away a bit quickly, and also the ball bounces a lot higher. So, and also if you do it, the English slide tackle has gone for a Burton. You know, my thighs and my side of my legs have been ripped apart a couple of times this season.
Yes. It must have been a marvellous experience, though, playing with the people like Beckenbauer and Bogacevic, of course, the great Yugoslavian, and so on.
Yeah, it's tremendous for the American soccer kids, because they need idols to identify with. The skills that we're showing out there, they've never ever seen before in their lives, which is a tremendous situation. You get the English kids, they watch the soccer over the television all the time, and they're emulating their idols.
Yes.
The things that they do, they try and do, and this is the old development in the soccer.
I imagine you had a good lifestyle while you were here, with Manchester City in particular. I mean, has it improved in New York?
Obviously, the different situations, but we've got in our apartment complex, we have, which is taken for granted in the New York areas, we have got indoor-outdoor swimming pool, sauna and gymnasium, and things like these. You know, there's so many apartment complexes in the area, it's just taken for granted, and probably that's the difference. We miss, my wife and I, we haven't got a back garden now.
Really, yeah. But you make up with that with a superb car each, I've no doubt.
Yeah, we've got the guys who come up from Europe. We have a Cadillac Seville, which is it's a beautiful motor.
Yes. What about the game itself? Do you regret anything? Do you miss things from our game here? And do you regret anything about going and?
Probably the only thing was a bit. I watched the England game on the lunchtime soccer on Saturday, and the England international was important to me.
Because you could still have been involved in that. I mean, at least one imagines you could still have been involved
At this
in that.
stage, I'm pretty sure I could have been involved with it, but it was unfortunate that we didn't qualify for the World Cup, which I believe is important to the English soccer development especially. And the next World Cup wasn't going to be in 1982. I was going to be 31, and it was a decision which I had to make. I couldn't hold on and say, well, maybe or maybe not.
Mm. Do you think your roots are now going to be in America, Dennis, or do you see yourself ever coming back and perhaps playing again in England?
At this moment, you know, my contract has another 2 years to go, and that's as far as I'm looking at this particular aspect regarding soccer in America. But the development is taking such great strides every year. The increase in standards, as I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the 2 years.
And there's a virtue in being on the ground floor in this boom in America, presumably.
Well, this is, again, it was one of the reasons why I went over the fact that you're going to be in on the ground floor and going to go along with the development, so you're going to learn a lot more.
Good. It's good to see you in our studio today. It'll be nice to see you in action on Tuesday as well. And incidentally, for those of you with a military frame of mind, that tie, which is the New York Cosmos tie, which is green and navy, I'm told is what, the Somerset Light Infantry?
Yeah, the Somerset Light Infantry, which is, has its name on the back, which is amazing. We bought it in America and has our colours, and it was selected for the colours, and then we realised it was the Somerset Light Infantry.
Lovely. Will you go shooting away on Tuesday?
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dennis. Indeed, you can watch out then for Dennis at Chelsea Tuesday night. And we stick with Chelsea now, as a matter of fact, as we come to our final match. It's Birmingham City against Chelsea at St Andrews. Two clubs going through a pretty rough old patch at the moment. Birmingham going into the game without a win in the league this season. Chelsea with only one. The pictures come from ATV, where the commentator is Hugh Johns. Birmingham City are in the dark shirts.
Aiming for Gibbons. Emmanuel could win this back. And Barraclough takes over. Nice cut inside. Drives it near post, and again Bonetti reacts well. But there was some pretty sloppy play by Chelsea. A half-hearted challenge by Wilkins. Ball coming to Barraclough. He cuts inside, sees the near post, the left foot drive, and Bonetti's down. Kempsey with Emmanuel at his back. It in nicely to Langley. Oh! That was a chance and a half.
just a little bit of magic from Duncan McKenzie. Glided away from his marker, a low swerved pass, dropping down for Langley. Indecision by Birmingham City defenders, open goal, and he's over the top. Swain for Stanley. Stride. Hesitated. Has he gone too far? No, he gets the cross in well. And Mackenzie's there. And who's going to poke it in? Nobody. Well, Broadhurst knocks it away. The players bitterly arguing with referee George Nolan that there was a fair few boots flying around there. Somebody's injured. Well, that really was a scramble, all starting as Stride did well to get to the byline, knocked it back. Mackenzie's header, and from that moment on, it was panic stations. 3 or 4 boots flying through the air, until finally, number 2, Kevin Broadhurst, just kicks it away for the corner. Duncan McKenzie, whose header started all that off, buried underneath the players near the far post. Jim Williams looking after Tony Towers. But a corner. Big curl on it, Langley got up. Wicks tries it. And poked in by Duncan McKenzie. 1-0 Chelsea. Just over 14.5 minutes gone. And Duncan McKenzie. Fist up, the victory sign, 1-0. That curling corner coming in from Gary Stanley. The challenge in the air, but it comes down, just a little toe poke from Duncan McKenzie, 1-0. Fox takes the throw in and Dillon gives it a chase, Stanley goes with him. And Dillon wins it. Turned back into trouble though, is Fox. Emmanuel takes over. Barraclough. Chip ball aimed for Gallagher. Wicks got there. Emmanuel. Fox. Lewington got just enough of it. It's not a bad ball from Emmanuel to Dillon. Far post. Number 9. Don Gibbons. 1-1. Well, that pressure deserving of the goal. Lots of pressure there from Birmingham City. And Don Gibbons scores his second goal as it's coming to the club. Emmanuel pushing a good ball back out to Dillon, who worked as hard as anybody to set up the pressure there. The ball to the far post, and Don Gibbons gets on the end of it. 1-1 with, what, about 17 minutes to go. As McKenzie comes forward for Chelsea. Well, a free shot at goal. Langley trying to turn it back. Lovely little run by McKenzie. And very nearly screwed it past Montgomery, and the pressure on again now. Swain laying it off to Lewington. Now Locke. Birmingham at 6s and 7s at the moment. There's Tommy Langley. That's McKenzie. And he wasn't so far away with it. Chelsea putting a penetrative attack together then, as Birmingham City tended to sit back and watch it. And that cross in from Langley, picking up McKenzie. No challenge on him, the twisted header over the bar. Fox coming very deep. Dillon. Broadhurst, given that ball away. No, it was a beautiful dummy by McKenzie, allows the ball go to Stanley. Little touch in for Lewington. Yes, no, Langley. And McKenzie. And Montgomery squaring up immediately. In actual fact, that was McKenzie was entitled to have a couple of stabs at that ball. But how that didn't get into that, I suppose the final best chance after Lewington failed to drive it in, dropping down to Tommy Langley, and he was falling backwards and couldn't get a shot on target. In fact, he couldn't make contact at all. It was left to McKenzie to try it. and that didn't work either.
So a point each in a 1-1 draw, but 2 points to remind you about for next week. The first is that it'll be time for our September Personality of the Month competition, with an exciting prize for the winning viewer, I can assure you of that, just as it was for Mr. B. Thompson of Hounslow, who went to this week's International in Copenhagen with the Hunting Lambert Sports and Group Travel Company. He was the winner of our August competition. And if you want to take part, I should also tell you that the big match moves to 2:30 as from next Sunday afternoon. That's next Sunday afternoon. It's the big match at 2:30. Finally, good news for England from Kevin Keegan. His contract with Hamburg allows him to play in all of England's European Championship and World Cup qualifying games. Of course, it means that he'll play against the Republic of Ireland in Dublin next month. But he tells me now that he's also free to play in the friendly against Czechoslovakia at Wembley on November the 29th, because Hamburg have a free week at that time. That's it then, another weekend where the players have produced their skills and where the managers certainly have produced their tactics. But we must never forget, of course, that above all, it is the people's game. And the joy that people can get from football, I think, was never better illustrated than this weekend, when Bob Latchford scored that early goal for Everton. Just for once, forget the celebrations and look at the joy behind those fences at Goodison Park.
Useful foot stuck out there by McCall. Here's Parkin, and McCall lets it go. Latchford, 1-0.